Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
They're calling it a real shot of hope. The coronavirus vaccine goes into arms at one of Michigan's largest health systems as we learn a U.S. healthcare worker has suffered a severe allergic reaction to it.
Above and beyond, just wait until you hear what a group of teachers did after one of their students lost everything in a fire.
But we'll begin here at 5 with Storm Tracker 4 and snow falling across Metro Detroit. Good to have you with us for Local 4 News at 5. It's been snowing off and on for most of the day. The lawn's at least looking a little white at the moment.
Yeah, let's get over to Ben off the top here. This is just a glancing blow from a major storm hitting the East Coast, Ben.
Yeah, we're just breaking off a piece of this. And as you mentioned, there's very little of any accumulation outside of the grassy surfaces. Although we are starting to see these snow showers intensify just a little bit. You can tell those colors there right around Macomb County getting a little bit darker off that Lake St. Clair shoreline there. So the snow showers becoming a little bit more intense in that part of the area. But still, this is going to be an inch or less of accumulation in most locations. When we look at where it's likely we're seeing this on untreated surfaces, that's that swath you see right in the center. That's where those temperatures are the coldest. So really anywhere from Macomb County back through Adrian, if you don't have salt or some treatment on the roads, that's probably where you're going to see some minor accumulations there, at least for the remainder of the commute and into the evening. We'll see these taper to just flurries here by 10 o'clock, and temperatures which are firmly below freezing now are going to continue to fall tonight, but we are not done with the snow. We've got multiple chances, and we'll run those down for you, and of course take a live look at the East Coast in a few minutes, guys.
Okay, Ben, thank you. Now to the rush to get the coronavirus vaccine in as many arms as possible, and we are hearing about a frontline worker having a severe allergic reaction to it.
Yeah, a healthcare worker in Alaska has been hospitalized for what is being called a serious anaphylactic-like reaction. We'll have more on that coming up in a couple of minutes. But let's start things here with Victor Williams. Live tonight as employees at Ascension Health got their first shots. Victor.
Yes, that's right. It was a very long time coming, but the higher-ups here at the hospital, they're saying that the vaccines that arrived earlier today are a real shot of hope. A total of 10 people received the COVID vaccination Wednesday at Ascension Providence Hospital, leaving many to ask the question, could this finally be the end of the pandemic that's plagued the globe for so long?
The devastation that's been caused by COVID is a once-in-a-lifetime thing.
Now there seems to be a light at the end of the tunnel to finally get us through the dark ages of COVID-19. And of course, it's the hospital workers on the front lines getting the injection first. Of those 10 was Nurse Russell Patel.
It just feels like we are on the road to getting everything back to what we like to call normal, and just really thrilled and excited about it.
And family medicine physician Jamila Taylor.
You don't know what to expect. This is all very new to all of us. But, you know, you take on the responsibility to care for individuals.
But why is the number stopping at 10, even though the hospital was sent nearly 2,000 doses this morning? That's because the health officials at the hospital want to make sure everything goes smoothly with the vaccine, unlike anything they've seen before.
There's just enough nuances to this that we want to ensure that we're being very thoughtful, going through all of our processes.
Tomorrow, that number will jump up between 300 and 400.
Our goal is to vaccinate all of our healthcare, our physicians, our nurses, our associates, our partners.
And even though the future seems bright, that doesn't mean we need to let our guard down.
Until we all get it, we still need to do the things that work to slow the spread of coronavirus.
And while that number is expected to rise to 300 or 400 starting tomorrow, I'm told that in the days coming, that number is going to increase day by day until it's available to the general public. For now, we are reporting live in front of the hospital. Victor Williams, Local 4.
All right, Victor. The FDA cautioned there could be adverse reactions as the vaccine was rolled out to many more thousands and eventually millions of people.
And tonight, an allergic reaction in Alaska is under investigation. Let's turn to our Dr. Frank McGeorge for what we know so far. Doc?
Yeah, Kim and Devin. So reports from the Alaska Department of Health are that a healthcare worker in Juneau who was given the COVID-19 vaccine developed flushing and shortness of breath 10 minutes after receiving the shot. Now, it's important to note that worker had absolutely no history of allergic reactions in the past. They took some Benadryl, but the symptoms didn't resolve, and the worker was admitted to the emergency department, where they received Pepcid, which treats a different part of the allergic reaction, some more Benadryl, and epinephrine through an IV drip. The report is that the individual has recovered, but is still being monitored. Now, of course, this is the first report of a significant allergic reaction in the U.S., and while it's not necessarily unexpected given the severe allergic reactions that were seen in the U.K., as well as the fact that allergic reactions can occur with any medication, this incident will require additional investigation.
Doc, I know you've been hearing questions about the cases of Bell's palsy that occurred during the clinical trials. And in fact, that was both the Pfizer and the Moderna vaccines. What do we need to know about that?
Yeah, so actually I want to clear something up and be clear that at this time, we do not know if the small number of cases that were seen in those trials were related to the vaccine or not. And at this time, a prior history of Bell's palsy is not a contraindication to the vaccine. Now, the FDA will clearly be monitoring closely for any more cases as more people get the vaccine. Keep in mind, the ongoing safety monitoring is part of any new vaccine rollout. We are just seeing it under uncommon focus and in real time with these very high-profile vaccines.
Sure. Well, I mean, it's still concerning, though. And Dr. McGeorge, I know that you'll continue to keep us posted. We appreciate it.
Let's move now to today's COVID numbers, and the state reporting 4,037 new cases over the past 24 hours. That is about 700 fewer than yesterday's report. But along with that, 83 more people have died from the virus in the past day. So that means we have passed another grim milestone. 11,000 people in our state have now lost their lives to the virus. Just for context, that would be as if every single person living in Grosse Pointe Park, Michigan, were suddenly gone. Protesters have targeted the home of another state official.
This time, a group rallied outside the home of Robert Gordon, the director of the State Department of Health and Human Services.
Open the restaurants.
The protesters are against the state's coronavirus restrictions. They called the virus a hoax and promised to return to Gordon's home. This protest comes after another group gathered outside Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson's house earlier this month. Today, Attorney General Dana Nessel called the nighttime protests quote-unquote concerning and said there are ongoing investigations into threats made against public officials.
Director Gordon reacted to the protests. Here's his quote: "This is America, and I believe strongly in Americans' right to protest. Last night was something different. People came to my home in the dark of night, screaming through bullhorns, scaring my children, and trying to intimidate me. That is wrong, and, in case anyone is wondering, it's a waste of time."
A father is in custody tonight after the shooting death of his 8-year-old son in Canton. The shooting happened Tuesday afternoon at a home on Old Michigan Avenue. Investigators say a 911 call came in that a child had been shot after a gun went off. Police confirmed the boy died from his injuries overnight. His father was later taken into custody. The investigation has been turned over to the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office. We're awaiting word to see if charges will be filed.
35 days to go now until Inauguration Day. President-elect Biden wasting no time making official one more cabinet choice. And on Capitol Hill, a new stimulus deal to help struggling Americans appears to be making progress. Susan McGinnis in Washington with the latest. Susan.
Devin, President-elect Biden is expanding his picks for top jobs in the White House while the president calls on Republicans to help him save his. President-elect Joe Biden today making history, choosing former mayor and Democratic rival Pete Buttigieg as transportation secretary. If confirmed, he'd be the nation's first openly gay cabinet member.
I learned something about some of the limits that exist in this country when it comes to who is allowed to belong.
At 38, Buttigieg would also be one of the youngest members of a cabinet that Biden promises will reflect the nation it serves.
A cabinet that taps into the best of America. A cabinet that is opening doors and breaking down barriers.
As the incoming president builds his staff, the current president is attacking Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell, who now accepts Biden's win and urges his colleagues to do the same. The president tweeting it is too soon to give up and telling Republicans they must learn to fight. In fact, members of the lame duck Congress are looking for common ground, closing in on a $900 billion COVID relief compromise.
We need to re-up the Paycheck Protection Program to save jobs. We need to continue to provide for laid-off Americans.
The stimulus package is encouraging. It looks like they're very, very close. and it looks like there's going to be direct cash payments.
Congress looking to seal a deal and vowing to delay their holiday break until it's done. While the president-elect calls the COVID relief bill encouraging, he also refers to it as a down payment on what will be needed early next year. In Washington, Susan McGinnis, Local 4.
All right, Susan. Meantime, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is under quarantine after being in contact with a person who tested positive for coronavirus. State Department says Pompeo, though, has tested negative thus far for it.
Okay, much more to come on a Wednesday. Here's Karen Drew.
A South Lyon teenager known for his kindness and his love of music is honored by saxophonists from all around the world.
We don't want any other child or family to go through what we did.
Tonight at 5, how the pandemic is causing anxiety and stress, especially among the younger generation.
There are thousands of job opportunities being posted online every day, and some of them look great. But beware, before you apply, we have important information regarding a scam alert that is affecting people not only here in Metro Detroit, but across the country. It's new tonight.
A fire caused extensive damage inside a local family's home. I'm Larry Sproul, and I'll tell you how you can help pitch in.